What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Ha. All right. Thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel. Subscribers, welcome back. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Definitely have really good live streams. And also you hit the bell icon, you'll know when we drop videos on subjects that are near and dear to the heart of boxing nerds. Now, and thank you to everybody that donates to the channel, supports the channel, through the different mechanisms, Venmo, Patreon, and my favorite, Super Chat. Appreciate you guys so much for that. Look, I was wondering what the next excuse would be for Anthony Joshua not facing Deontay Wilder. As we know, Deontay Wilder said that he is accepted and willing to fight to face Anthony Joshua in the UK. He said, look, I'll take the $50 million. All this gigantic sum of money is still there for you if you want it. But if you don't want it, okay, I'll come to the UK. All right, I'll come to the UK. Let's make it happen. Send me the agreement, the written formal document, and I will sign it. Let's move it on. Let's go with it. Right. So you would think that would be the end and we get the bout that boxing fans want to see. No, I said it last night. The next excuse will come out tomorrow. Right. So it's today. I get up in the morning and I'm like, okay, why is Eddie Hearn going to say that this bout can't take place? Or at least can't take place this year or in the foreseeable future, right? So here it comes. Now, he said it in a setup before. Now, he changed his story because, that's Eddie Hearn. He changed his story, but it's there. And it is this. This is the nutshell of it. We need the bout to be in Wembley Stadium. It can't be in Cardiff. It can't just be in the UK. It's got to be in the UK in Wembley. It's got to be. It's not that the fans don't just deserve for it to be in the UK. The bout if the date doesn't work for Wembley, then the bout can't happen because we can't take this bout to Cardiff because, of course, like Anthony Joshua said, now they care about what? The size of the crowd in Cardiff? I mean, in Wembley? Now, 70,000 people in Cardiff isn't enough. We need to make sure we get 20,000 more nosebleed seats in Wembley. Because otherwise, it can't happen, right? Because, I'm sure it's a monetary thing. Anthony Joshua feels much more comfortable in Wembley. He doesn't quite feel it as much in Cardiff. I think that's the O2, right? Whatever's in Cardiff. He doesn't quite feel it good and well enough there. He needs to have it in Wembley. Are you kidding me? That's the nutshell of it. I'll get into I'll get into what they say, but I just wanted to tell you what the meat of the argument is. The meat of the argument is that the bout can't happen in September, right? Because of U.S. pay-per-view. Because Canelo is going to be facing somebody because Canelo is going to be facing somebody who we don't know in September. Now, put a little stick pin in that. It don't matter who Canelo Alvarez is facing if this bout happens. This bout is bigger than any Canelo Alvarez bout. It's bigger than any Canelo Alvarez bout. Regardless. It couldn't happen in September. So since it can't happen in September because of the Canelo Alvarez bout, then it has to go to October. Right? If we don't fight, we can face Povetkin in September. But if we can't face Povetkin in September, then that would move it to October. But since Wembley's not available in October, Then, so we can't do that, then we got to push it out to February. So if we want to face Wilder first, then that bout can't happen till February. And since it can't happen to February, hey, man, we might as well go ahead and get this mandatory out of the way anyway. So we're not facing him next no matter what the contract says. That's the logic of Eddie Hearn that he lays right in your face. And then wonders whether, and then when the same forked tongue on the other little part of his tongue that sticks to the left, he says he really wonders whether it's Deontay Wilder really wants the bout. Now, let me go into the details and prove to you what I'm saying. Deontay Wilder will be sent a contract for Anthony Joshua about this week, says Eddie Hearn. I'm sure he will. That I believe. Deontay Wilder will be sent a contract for Anthony Joshua about this week after the American agreed to a unification clash in the UK, says promoter Eddie Hearn. Hearn contacted Joshua this morning to discuss the latest developments with the deal and is waiting to see whether Wilder will sign for the next bout with Joshua. You're not waiting to see if he'll sign because you got to send him the agreement first, okay? Author, if you're going to try to ride with Joshua, at least get the chronological order straight. Anyway, Joshua, who was also close to WBA mandatory title defense against Povetkin. I spoke with AJ and Rod McCracken this morning, and obviously we saw Deontay Wilder's stuff on social media. You know, like you saw him say that he'd offer $50 million that you didn't believe. Now you don't believe he wants this. Okay, it's great that he comes back to us. We made this offer about 4 weeks ago, and I don't know if he's come back because he heard we're close to closing the Povetkin bout, or whether he wants the bout. But either way, he's going to be getting a contract from us as soon as possible. Obviously, the bout we want. There's a lot of sorting out to do for this bout. But the great news that in principle, he seems to be on board with the idea of coming to the UK for the bout. He seems to be okay with it, right? He's not okay with it when he says it. He seems like he's okay with it. But, you know, that's just my annoying habit of reading every word that this dude says. We're going to be dealing with it. We're going to be making sure he gets the relevant paperwork. Joshua is keen to return to Wembley Stadium, not the UK. He's keen to return to Wembley, which was the venue for his epic victory over Vladimir Klitschko in 2017. But Hearn admits a September bout looks unlikely and could be forced to push the date if it does take this place this year. We see this as a Wembley bout, and we're quite limited in that respect. Obviously, American TV and pay-per-view has to be considered. We've got to speak with them about what date suits them. There's a lot still to work out. I think Wembley is where Anthony Joshua wants about to take place. Obviously, a brilliant night against Vladimir Klitschko, it seems a natural home. Our original plan and hope was to do it in the middle of September, but obviously this Canelo bout on September 15 makes it a little difficult with US TV, and the fact that we've lost 4 weeks in waiting for an answer from Deontay Wilder makes the bout happening in 11 or 12 weeks of this magnitude unlikely. If it's before Povetkin, then it runs on October to November. We've got to get to the bottom of it all today. One thing I can tell you is by the end of this week, Deontay Wilder will have a contract in front of him, and we'll see if he's real. Okay. Now, do you hear that? All of that, Wembley, right? Wembley. It's not UK now. He wants a bout in the UK. Now the difficulty isn't that he wanted it in the United States and it needs to be in the UK. Now it just can't be any place in the UK. It cannot be in Cardiff. It has to be in Wembley, right? So it gets even more narrow. Now we'll see. Let me go back to another article that adds on to a little bit of this with another quote from Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn says, we want the bout in September, but September doesn't work with Wilder because of Showtime. Now note that he just said, now this is a week ago, He said that September doesn't work because of Showtime. How do you know that if you just say this week that you need to check with American networks, you haven't talked to them yet? But yet you knew a week ago that September doesn't work for Wilder because of Showtime. All right, that contradiction and aside, okay, if we face Wilder, it would probably be in October, November. But if we face Povetkin, it'll be September. If Povetkin is September, then Wilder probably won't happen until February. But even in February, there's still a problem remain. Joshua would still want to face Wilder in the UK. If Povetkin is in September, then Wilder probably won't happen until February. That would mean that we would probably go to Cardiff. We wanted to face Wilder in September because there's a possibility of places like Wembley. But if you go to October or November, then it also becomes Cardiff, where we've done two fights on the bounce. Let me read this last. If Povetkin is September, then Wilder won't happen until February. So read the two articles together. September can't happen because of Canelo Alvarez in September. And the pay-per-view and Showtime doesn't want it in September, right? So if Povetkin is in September, then Wilder probably won't happen until February. And then even if it is on February, then it would probably have to take place in Cardiff. But Anthony Joshua really wants it in Wembley. So who even knows if it happens in February? So pretty much it has to happen, by what he's saying, it has to happen in September. But it can't happen in September because there's not enough time. Also, Showtime doesn't want it in September. Canelo facing somebody in September. And if it's in September at all, it has to be Povetkin. All of that loop says no bout. Tell me where my logic is off. That's what Eddie Hearn says. This is a game of shells. This is that's the con men that sit out there, on the street and try to get your money to check where you have a little P put underneath 3 shells, and they moving it around, shuffling around. Where's the shell? Where's the shell? All the time they put it in their pocket. It's moving around, but they slipped it in their pocket. That's the game Eddie Hearn is playing, man. But I'll go through it again, and I'm going to go through it slowly with the relevant parts of it. And he's got to get it all done today. Our original plan and hope was to do it in the middle of September. But obviously this Canelo bout is happening September 5th, makes it a little more difficult with US TV and the fact that we've lost 4 weeks. We wanted to do it September, but this Canelo fight on September 15 makes it difficult. All right. What did he say in the last one? If we want to do it in September, but September doesn't work with Wilder because of Showtime. Okay, so September doesn't work, right? And the fact that you lost 4 weeks, make this fight happening in 11 or 12 weeks of a magnitude like this is not likely. If it's Pavor Povetkin, then it runs into October or November, right? If this is before Povetkin, if they face Povetkin in September, right? Then, because they can't have it in September because of the Canelo fight and Showtime not wanting it. Now, we'll put aside for a second I don't believe that, right? And this bout would compete with Canelo Alvarez very, very well. But that's just my opinion. If it's before Povetkin, then it runs out to October, November. But Anthony Joshua wants it in Wembley. He wants it in Wembley. Joshua is keen to a return to Wembley, which was the venue for his epic bout over Vladimir Klitschko. We see this as a Wembley bout, and we're quite limited in that respect. Plus, but it's American TV and pay-per-view has to be considered. We've got to speak to them about what date suits them. There's still a lot to work out. I think Wembley is where Anthony Joshua wants the bout to take place. Anthony Joshua wants it in Wembley, right? So let's go back to what he said a week before about Wembley. If Povetkin is September, then Wilder probably won't happen until February. That would mean we would probably go to Cardiff. We wanted to face Wilder in September because of the possibility places like Wembley. But if you go to October or November, then it also becomes Cardiff, where we have done 2 fights on the bounce. So, again, if it's not September, then it cannot be, and Anthony Joshua has to get what Anthony Joshua wants, which is for it to be in Wembley. He has to get what he wants. He's the A-side. He's the A-side. But remember when Anthony Joshua said he wanted it in front of his UK fans? He's been in Cardiff. He's been in Cardiff. He's fought in Cardiff before. But Deontay Wilder, oh no, Cardiff's not. No. My fans deserve. No, I'm not. When I say that I want the match to be in front of my fans in the UK, I mean I wasn't talking about the Cardiff fans. I was talking about the Wembley fans. That's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Wembley fans. Do you see this joke? It's a joke. He won't fight in the U.S. He turns down $50 million because he says that he wants it in the UK. But now he's saying that it's not just, he doesn't just want it in the UK. He wants it in a specific venue in the UK. Next, he's going to say it's not just, if Wembley dropped everything and Canelo pulled out of the bout, what would be next? That he needs to have a certain peanut vendor there? Like, hold on, Harry's peanut vendor shop is going to be on vacation that week. And I get these lucky peanuts from him, and I cannot be in Wembley Stadium unless I have Harry's world famous peanut vendor be there for me when I walk into the ring. Come on, man. This is embarrassing, man. This is embarrassing. It should be embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for Anthony Joshua. There's no way you can get around this, man. This is a joke. And if you listen to the time frame that he's laying out, Wembley might not be available till next September. Next September. Because he wants it in September because Wembley's available. But he can't have it in September. Wembley's going to be difficult because Showtime doesn't want it. Because Canelo is going to be fighting that weekend. So we don't have enough time. So that means it pushes to October. But if we push it to October, then it's going to have to be in Cardiff. And Anthony doesn't like Cardiff. Anthony doesn't like, we had to do, we put up with Cardiff, but not this bout. This bout's too important. Anthony wants his favorite arena. And we got to give little baby boy, he'll cry if he doesn't box in Wembley. And so if that means that, then, October it has to be in Wembley too. And even if we push it to February, that's going to be Cardiff too. October's in Cardiff, February's in Cardiff. We won't be able to do Wembley until next September. But then again, we can't do next September because Canelo's going to fight then too. So, we're just lost. We just don't know what to do. I don't think Deontay Wilder's serious about taking this fight. I don't think Deontay Wilder is serious about taking it. Now, who do you think's not serious? The guy that offered $50 million, still has $50 million on the table, said he'd be coming over to the UK. Or the guy who turned down $50 million, and then when he says he turns down $50 million, it can't be in the US, it has to be in the UK, then shifts it from it can't be in the UK to it has to be in Wembley. It has to be in Wembley. Cardiff's 70,000 seat arenas are not enough. I need it in 90. I need it in 90, Eddie. I need it in 90. And if they don't put on a jumbotron out in the parking lot and get another 20,000 people in the street, then I just don't feel comfortable. I just don't feel comfortable, Eddie. He's a joke, man. And with that, I'm out. Peace.